Hey, so your product sounds really great, but can I get a discount? No, but really, is that your best price? Hey, so what do you do when somebody asks for a discount on your product or service? Do you get frustrated but cave in and cut into your profit? Or do you see it as an opportunity for mutual gain? I'm the latter, and in this video, I want to share with you 5 strategies that you can use when somebody asks you for a discount. So, stick around. We're living in the shadow of a recession, a downturn, a collective fiction in which we've all decided that we have to cut costs. Now, when this happens, procurement departments everywhere all of a sudden insist on adopting the Monty Python method of price negotiation.
How much, quick? What? It's for the wife. Oh, 20 shekels. Right. What? They were. Wait a minute. Oh, well, we're supposed to haggle. No, I've got to get... What do you mean, no? I haven't got time. Well, give it back then.
In many cases, procurement have actually insisted that the people you're dealing with ask you for a discount. It's not because they want to, it's because they're mandated to ask. As such, asking for a discount simply becomes the norm. If you're not asking for one, you probably should. If you don't ask, you don't get, and that money definitely looks better sitting in your bank account than theirs.
May you blossom and flower and rise like a tower.
But that's not the topic of today. Today, we want to talk about the other side, when they ask you for a discount. Now, one thing you need to remember is you absolutely do not have to give a discount, right? That's up to you. And if you are going to give one, it's important to give one with a plan. Most people give unplanned discounts, and unplanned discounts come straight from profit. So, I want to share with you today 5 ways that you can absolutely negotiate discounts like a pro. But also, at the end of the video, I want to share with you one cautionary aside that I think is crucially important for you to understand. So certainly hang about for that. Now, let's get to it with strategy number 1. So, strategy number 1, trade for terms. What do I mean by this? First of all, my hair may have changed. I just went to lunch on my motorcycle, so helmet hair.
It's not a helmet, it's a hairmet. It has extra room so you don't mess up your hairdo.
Here's the deal. They want to pay less, you want to be paid fast. That is something you can exploit. So one of the first questions, one of my first approaches to anybody who wants a discount is I'll say to them, sure, okay, so you need to get a 10% discount. Great, then I can arrange that. However, instead of you paying a 50% deposit to roll this job out, would you be able to pay an 80% deposit? If you're able to pay an 80% deposit to roll the job out, I'll be able to actually manage from cash flow and drop that down by 10%. And more often than not, if that's what they want, if they're looking for a discount, then they'll say yes. The great thing is because that is in your terms, they can't now default on paying. Because if they then default and pay you late, like big companies are often want to do, then they're basically trading away their discount. Because they can't trade for a discount with certain payment terms. If they miss those payment terms, then you just take out that discount and charge them full amount. What a win, right? The second way you can use this is sometimes you can actually trade for urgency. So the terms might not be the terms of when you get paid, but the terms of when they sign off. So I had a guy in our public speaking program the other day, Story to Stage. You should join. He was, chatting about it and he did ask, can I get a bit of a discount? Can we make this happen? And I said to him, sure thing, no problem at all. I'm able to maybe look at giving you a 10% discount, provided that you sign up in the next week. If you're willing to sign up in the next week, we'll get you onboarded. We've got other people starting. It works for us. I'm able to actually help you in return and reciprocate that. The guy signed up and away we go. What a beautiful thing.
Dear God, it's beautiful.
So you can trade for terms. That last example is called a seller-led compelling event. If you want to read more about compelling events, definitely check out my newest book, Here Be Dragons, which will tell you all about compelling events in general. They're a great trigger to actually make people sign off. This leads us to strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 is to trade for a referral. And this is an easy one that I've used a lot. Now, I especially use this one in big companies. So if I'm in a big company, you don't win Citibank. You win one department of Citibank. You don't win the LinkedIn account. You're speaking to one department of LinkedIn. So often when somebody turns around and says, hey, would you be able to give us a bit of a discount? I'll say, well, you know what? We do actually, part of our fee is actually structured to help us remarket our business. I'll tell you what, if you can introduce me to one person, they don't have to sign off, but if you can introduce me to one person in your organization that you think would benefit from our services, give us a nice little mail on the way in. And then when I send your quote and invoice, I'm able to give you a 10% discount or a 5% discount or whatever the case may be and send that there. And you know what? Most people are very, very happy to do that. If they want to do business with you, it's because of your reputation. And they're very happy to say, hey, I remember these guys. I thought they might be helpful for you. Why don't you set up some time to meet? Now, you don't make all the sales. You don't even get all the meetings. It just takes one. and that gives you a huge ROI on that original discount you were doing. And remember, it's not just about that first project. Every single one of those projects can trickle down. And of course, you can repeat that game. Hey, if you want to give us a referral, we'll give you a bit of a discount on and on throughout the business. So definitely want to try it there. Oh, and as a professional speaker, this trading for referral has been great too. Often people want to fly me, around the world. I get to speak all over. I'm sitting here today in a park in beautiful Portland, Oregon. So I'm in New York City. Okay, so I'm in London. The streets in Paris. Beautiful Charles Bridge in Prague. Greetings from a chilly summer's day in Reykjavik. I've got the iconic church just behind me here. Now, in order to put these together, to fly somebody halfway around the world for only one talk, that's quite expensive. But what I always offer is discounts and bundles. So, if you can find 4 other people that I can speak for when I'm out there, I can give a much better price. I've actually done a cool video on pricing for public speaking that, again, we'll link up above here that could be very helpful for you. But just by saying, refer me to other people where I can do talks for, or, I can add this service to, I'm able to give a discount to everybody else. Hey, one other thing quickly. This whole video around discounts is basically around negotiation. And it's something that we all need to be better at. That's why we've created 2 atomic talks for you. One around Never Split the Difference and one around Getting to Yes, the 2 big books on negotiation. These are short little 10-minute presentations that you can deliver to your teams for free. We give you the 10-minute talk, we give you the deck, we give you the coaching video, everything you need to present to your team. So just head over to atomictalks.com and jump on, download whichever one of those 2 appeal to you the most. I prefer Getting to Yes myself, and present it to your team. Teaching them to negotiate is an unfair advantage. Back to the video. This is one of my favorites, and I especially like it when a client may only buy like one of our product sets or one thing. Is what I'll often say to them and say, well, actually, look, I can't help you so much of the discount on this product by itself because it's not a massive margin product there. However, we do have a bundle that's more affordable, and actually I can offer you a discount on that one. So if we add some training to your presentation and we go through and we do this kind of thing there, then what we can do is that comes in at X, and I can give you a 5% on the top of that as well. So not only are you getting training, you kind of come in close to the price you would have been paying, and you've got something of more value. I get a little bit more high profit work out of the customer. They are exposed to more of the products we do, which is great. And, it's a win-win for everybody because they still get their discount. So when you're going in, try and think of what bundled packages can we put together that we could, discount because they're bundles, and then offer those when the client needs that. It's amazing. It's surprising because it shouldn't always work, and yet it does. All right. So this is a bit of a cheeky one, but I like it. Remember I told you earlier that often your customer might not want to ask you for a discount, but they're asking because their procurement department has told them that they have to.
Bert? Yeah. This bloke won't haggle. Won't haggle? All right. Do we have to?
Well, we first discovered this back in like 2008, 2009, 10, during the financial crisis. You see, we realized that all of our clients who didn't normally ask us for discounts, were all of a sudden always doing so. And we knew there was a financial crisis, but it was kind of a funny thing because it didn't matter how much we charged them or how big the job was. Whenever we gave them a discount of, say, 10%, they always seemed to be, fine, cool, that's it, great, thank you so much. And that was enough. And I thought, why is this amount always enough? They weren't working to a budget. They just had a budget for what their discount should be. So it turned out that we realized that every one of our clients would be happy if we could give them a 10% discount. So how do we deal with that? It was easy. We put our prices up 10% across the board. Our clients came to us, they got a quote, they asked us for a discount. We started with 5%. Then for some of them, they were like, oh, no, that's not enough. Some of them accepted it, win. And others were like, no. And then we went to 10% and then they agreed. And then, we got paid and they went back to procurement and they were happy. Some clients didn't even ask for a discount. So that was amazing. That was a win-win for everybody. Well, bigger win for us in that case. But it really, really made a lot of sense. And we did our best to do amazing work. So this is something, if you realize that actually the discount they want isn't about a fixed number, it's actually about just a certain amount of discount, this is definitely a strategy you can put in place. Now, it worked for us because at that time we were dealing largely with really, really big companies. And so we knew that they weren't spending money, they were spending budget. But, it could work for you as well. All right, so obviously this will only work if your product isn't commoditized. If you're selling a commodity, then you don't have that much wiggle room and you certainly can't go up. But for any of you, especially you commoditized people, I highly suggest you check out the book Confessions of a Pricing Man by Herman Simon. It will change your world. This is the last one. And sometimes it's simply the only one that makes sense. And for me, it often comes down to the kind of customer we're dealing with. But sometimes we have to simply discount by deduction. And all that happens is when they say to me, we don't have the budget to pay for all of this, then all I say to them is, no problem at all. What would you like us to take away? What would you like us to take away from the product? What should we remove to try and help you meet your price? And sometimes, by the way, that is enough. Sometimes it's literally, we might say, look, maybe instead of doing your slides this way, or instead of adding in that little animated explainer, maybe you don't need that for this one. We will take that out and then we get your budget and your price there. Not all discounting has to be you taking money away from yourself. And this is important. And this leads to the aside that I mentioned earlier, this cautionary aside that I think that we need to understand. Some people simply can't afford you yet. You don't have to give a discount to win every client. Because often when you win a client the first time at a discount, they hold you to that price. Years ago, when we first started Missing Link, I was dealing with a large cosmetics business. Very, very big international cosmetics business. You absolutely know their name. And they came to us and said, hey, we need to do this marketing presentation internally. We've not budgeted for it yet. So can you come in at this price? I was like, well, that's very small, but this is a great big brand we wanted on our portfolio. So I said yes. And then they came back for more and more and more work. And every time it was the same thing, but we still haven't budgeted for you yet. Then we worked on their budgeting presentation. And then the next year they came back to us, a month later, and we know they'd passed their budget cycle. And then they said, yeah, but you'd always charge us this much. How can you charge us this much now? And I said, are you mad? We charged you that much all along, but you just said you couldn't afford to pay for it because you hadn't budgeted for it, but you just did your budget. But, they'd set the price for us at that and they didn't make the leap to that. I've actually done a full video on my rocket theory of pricing that I go into this idea of the tiers of how people place you. I think it's very, very well worth watching. So we'll definitely put a link up here for you for that. So some people, they just can't do it. You don't have to win every customer at the beginning, and be careful about letting people in on a discounted price. The golden rule, if you're going to give somebody a discount, is you always write the full amount in your proposal. Then you include a line item for the discount, including the terms of that discount. And then you show them the discounted price, the price due below. They need to know that when they come back the next time, they're not expecting the same price, because unless they're going to do the same thing, they're not going to get the same fee. They need to know what the fee was. Otherwise, you will always get, oh, but that's not what you charged us last time. So just be very, very wary of that. All that said, all you have to understand is that you will be asked for a discount. You can either go and prepare for that or unprepared for that. I strongly suggest you sit down with your sales or your leadership team and you come up with various discounted strategies and you have those mapped out for your salespeople and for yourself. If you don't do that, it'll always be a surprise, and that discount you give will always come from your profit. That's it for me for this one. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. Definitely want to create more valuable content for you. Better still, share and comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think. If you have any strategies of your own with regards to pricing and discounting, definitely share those down below. That's something I'd like to explore more in the future. Until next time, lead loud.